So Pluto retrograde happens every year. It's nothing to fear. In fact, it's something to celebrate, to embrace, because Pluto retrograde gives us an opportunity to do that shadow work, to go into the darkest depths of our psyche, the depths of our soul, to go into our underworld and to slay any demons, confront any darkness, any fears, to address the skeletons in the closet, to be spiritual exorcists, to come out like the phoenix that rises, to really do that karmic healing, that shadow work, which is so important when you're on the path of ascension. So it's nothing to fear. It happens every year. Will it impact everyone? No. Will it impact a handful of people? Yes, and we're going to get into that. Now, Pluto currently is at 0 degrees of Aquarius, so we have had a slight little taste of Pluto in Aquarius, but it's not really going to anchor into the Aquarian energy until later next year. So Pluto will dip back into Capricorn on June the 11th. When it stations direct on October the 10th, it will be at 27 degrees of Capricorn. So this means that you will have to review, reflect, reanalyze, reevaluate the last 15 years of your life. What area of life has Pluto been impacting you? Pluto is an extremely slow-moving planet, and it does take some time until it moves to another sign. And this is something to not be frustrated about, because I'm sure a lot of people are waiting for a change and they think that Pluto in Aquarius is going to bring it. And the thing is, when you are wishing upon a shooting star, when you're putting all your power into something, a celestial event that's going to happen, you're giving your power away, and you may just block that opportunity from manifesting. Nothing is going to save you. No Pluto in Aquarius, no Saturn in Pisces. You're the one who's going to save you. Like, if Pluto was going to tell you something, he would be like, listen, take back your power, stop hopelessly wishing upon the cosmos, and know that the change is going to come when you confront your demons, when you slay those demons, when you do that healing work, that ancestral healing work, and when you cut those cords, and when you free yourself, heal the different parts of you, your psyche, your soul. The change is going to come from each and every one of us. Ascension is going to occur depending on each and every one of us. You know, things aren't just going to magically be solved. It happens with us. And Pluto going retrograde, it's almost like a blessing, because it's like, okay, so let's not just jump forward so quickly, because when you do that, you can often miss out on the details. Let's make sure, let's go over something 100 million times before we can move forward, to make sure that we have learned all the lessons from Pluto and Capricorn, and that we have done that healing, so that we have purged and detoxed all the shadows, the darkness that no longer serves us, the traumas, the crisis. We got to make sure that that is all been healed before we move forward. Like, Pluto is all about the details. It doesn't miss a beat. So when it comes to Pluto going retrograde, embrace it. Embrace it. Now let's talk about who is Pluto in retrograde going to impact the most. So Pluto will be going retrograde at 0 degrees of Aquarius on May the 1st, all the way till October the 10th. And it will station direct at 27 degrees of Capricorn. So if you have planets in Capricorn, Cancer, Libra, Aries from 27 degrees till 29 degrees, this will impact you the most. And also, if you have planets at 0 degrees of Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, and Taurus, this will also impact you guys the most. So just a collective few. And I'm going to go through all the zodiac signs and share with you how to work with Pluto in retrograde for your self-healing and how to be the phoenix that rises. So check out the timestamps down below, and just bear in mind that everyone's chart is unique, so this won't apply to everyone. Hi Aries, let's take a look at how Pluto retrograde is going to impact you. So Pluto will go retrograde on May the 1st all the way till October the 10th. And on June, it will retrograde back into Capricorn, entering your 10th house of career goals, ambitions, and what you want to achieve in life. And the 10th house becomes our identity, because we give our time and energy almost every day to all that we want to achieve. It becomes like our life purpose. And Pluto has been making you redefine this area of life. It's been making you really purge, detox, get rid of anything that is not in alignment with you, so you can be on your true soul's mission. Now, if you have an angle or planets between 27 degrees or 29 degrees of Capricorn, or even 0 degrees of Aquarius, this retrograde is going to impact you the most. and you will be perhaps already going through that process of becoming that phoenix that rises. Pluto will bring up work, career, goals, ambitions back into your psyche, your awareness, and make you reflect, rethink, and get serious about this area of life, and make sure that there is nothing on your path that is an obstacle, that is false, that is not in alignment with you. Because if there is anything that is a block, Pluto will make you confront it, make you confront any fears, any phobias, any limiting self-beliefs when it comes to your goals and your ambitions. Now in May, Jupiter will move into Taurus, moving into your second house of finances, money, resources, and self-worth. And Pluto and Jupiter will be making difficult aspect. So you want to grow and expand when it comes to money, finances, all that you own, and your self-worth. You want to feel good about yourself. You want to expand further in this area of life, but Pluto is like, hold on. Before you expand, you need to make sure that where are you giving your time? Where are you giving your energy? Is your career, what you do for a living, what you put your time, effort, energy into, is it in alignment with you? Because if all that you do is in alignment with you, then when it comes to money, you'll be a magnet and you will flourish. However, if you are not on your path, then there will be obstacles and blocks. So that can be frustrating, but Pluto first wants you to really do that shadow work and review, reflect the last 15 years of your life and your career, redefine what does it mean to you? Do you feel like you're put on earth for all that you're doing? Are you on your true soul's mission? Like that's Pluto. Pluto is all or nothing. So if you want to grow and expand when it comes to finances and wealth, that's Pluto as well. When it comes to all that you want to achieve, you first have to make sure that you are on your true soul's mission. Taurus rising. Let's take a look at how Pluto retrograde is impacting you. So Pluto will go retrograde on May the 1st all the way till October the 10th, and it will dip back into Capricorn on June the 11th, which means it will go back into your 9th house of travel, foreign places, higher learning, spirituality, and your beliefs and philosophies. Now, in May, Jupiter will also be in Taurus, your sign, which means that your life will shift. Change is, of course, inevitable because you have Uranus in Taurus, and I know I keep saying this in almost every video, but it's true. You are the sign that is being impacted the most because you represent Earth, all aspects of Earth. When you think of Taurus, it's the five senses, it's the vision, it's the sound, sight, taste, smell, touch, every aspect of Earth. So for you, you are going through a huge change because you're like the physical manifestation of Earth. Now, when Jupiter moves into Taurus, it will be making a difficult aspect with Pluto, which will be at 0 degrees of Aquarius. So when it comes to your life and where you're headed and all that you want to achieve and all that you want to accomplish, you may feel frustrated. You may feel like there's a block because Jupiter wants to move forward, but Pluto is like, hang on a minute, step back a little bit and drop back into your soul, your psyche. Like that's Pluto. Pluto doesn't make you move forward until you have really done that shadow work. And I mean from A till Z. Pluto is all or nothing, so it makes you confront every little part of your psyche, any fear, any programming, any limiting self-beliefs, or any conditioning, anything that is not truly you. Pluto makes you confront it. Like Pluto is a spiritual exorcist. So although you want to move forward in your life, Pluto is like, hang on a minute. Have you done that work on yourself? Have you really transformed your mind, your consciousness, what you believe in, your spirituality, your beliefs, your philosophies? It's on the cusp of your 10th house in May, but Pluto is like, before we do that transformation, before we shift when it comes to your career goals and ambitions, you have to make sure that your mind is right, that you are your own person, that your beliefs are truly yours, and that you haven't been influenced by anyone, and that you're not programmed, and that you don't have any limiting self-beliefs. You're not conditioned. Like Pluto is transforming your psyche. And once you've confronted any fears or phobias, then Pluto will help you move forward. So it's about really transforming your mind, your consciousness, in confronting any fears that are stopping you from being who you're born to be. And once you also become the spiritual exorcist and you do that shadow work, then Jupiter will help you, as well as Pluto, to move forward and expand in life, your life direction. So change is coming for you. Gemini rising. Let's take a look at how Pluto in retrograde is impacting you. So Pluto will go retrograde on May the 1st all the way till October the 10th. And on June the 11th, it will dip back into Capricorn, which means it will go back into your 8th house. Now, before it goes back into your 8th house on May, Jupiter will move into Taurus, which means it will go into your 12th house. So this means that you are expanding when it comes to your faith, belief, spirituality, and you may just feel very excited, and you may enjoy your spirituality and your solitude and your creativity. But when Jupiter moves into Taurus, it will be making a difficult aspect with Pluto. And Pluto and Jupiter are really going to frustrate you a little bit. They're going to make you really dive into your psyche as well and make you feel a little frustrated, make you feel perhaps even a little angry, like you may feel a little restricted, like you want to move forward, you want to really expand when it comes to your mind, your consciousness, your spirituality, your faith and beliefs. Like that's Jupiter in the 12th house. And you're really excited, but Pluto is like, hang on a minute, we're not doing anything fluffy bunny. We're not doing any love light, mainstream pop type of spirituality. No. If you're going to expand in your consciousness, you're going to do it the Pluto way. You're going to dive into the depths and the darkest parts of your psyche. You're going to confront all the fears, any phobias. You're even going to do that soul work, past life healing, the karmic work, healing ancestral karma. Going through the dark night of the soul, like that's Pluto and spirituality. Pluto and Jupiter are so different in terms of spirituality. Jupiter is all the love, light, and positivity and the happiness and the joy and, let me get my crystals. But Pluto is, nah, we're going to go into the darkest parts of your psyche and we're going to do that real healing. And when it goes back into your 8th house on June the 11th, any karma that still exists, Pluto will make you confront it, especially if you have anything in Capricorn between 27 till 29 degrees. And you're going to be doing that shadow work. It may even have to do with other people. It may even have to do with money or what you share with others. It may even have to do with relationships. There's anything that is not serving you, there's any soul lesson you need to learn, Pluto will make you go through that. And the best way to navigate through this is to be attached to nothing. And that's what Pluto is going to help you with. It's going to make you really address anything that you have been running away from, or anything that you haven't taken responsibility for, anything that you have ignored, anything that you need to confront for your soul's evolution. Any karma will come right up to the surface and you have to address it. There's no running away when it comes to Pluto. You got to transform and be the phoenix that rises and clear away any karmic debt during this time. Hi Cancer rising. Let's take a look at how Pluto retrograde is going to impact you. So Pluto will go retrograde on May the 1st all the way till October the 10th. And on June the 11th, it will dip back into Capricorn, which means it will go back into your 7th house of marriage, relationships, one-to-one partnerships, and other people. So for some of you guys, this means the last 15 years at some point, especially if you have planets in your seventh house, that you may have gone through a complete transformation when it comes to relationships and other people, such as meeting somebody new that was very karmic in your life, or going through a breakup, a divorce, losing someone, or meeting even powerful people that played a huge significant role in your life. Now, for some of you guys, depending on your chart, especially if you have anything between 27 degrees of Capricorn till 29 degrees of Capricorn, you will be going through the Phoenix that rises process again. You will be going through a transformation in this area of life. And for others, this may mean that you're just going to review, reflect, and make sure that you have truly closed a chapter on certain people, certain memories, certain emotions, certain experiences, so that you can move forward. Pluto makes you confront your darkest, deepest fears, your phobias. Pluto redefines you. It makes you become the phoenix that rises. Pluto transforms you. So when it comes to relationships, marriage, and other people, this is huge for you. Now, Jupiter in May the 16th, it will go into Taurus in your 11th house, which rules over friends, your community, spiritual groups as well. This also rules over your hopes and visions for the future. And the 11th house is another area of life that rules over other people. So it seems like there may be some frustration because in May, when Jupiter does move into Taurus, Pluto and Jupiter will be making a difficult aspect. So, on one hand, you may want to expand when it comes to friends and relationships and communities and being around other people. But Pluto is like a block. It's like the shadow stopping you from expanding in that area of life. And that's because Pluto wants you to really make sure that you are in the right headspace and you know what kind of people you're going to allow in your life, and that you have removed any rose tinted glasses, and that you can really read people's energy before you allow them into your life. Like Pluto really wants you to work with your sixth sense and really reevaluate what kind of people do you want in your life, and are they in alignment with you and your soul's path and where you're headed. So although you want to expand when it comes to friends, groups, and community and your hopes and visions for future, Pluto is going to be like a block, but a good block, a healthy block. The type of block that makes you really dive into the darkest depths of your psyche and really understand who you are and what you want from others and what your requirements are. Relationships are going to be huge for you. Pluto wants you to reflect, review, reanalyze, and redefine. What do other people mean to you? What kind of people do you want in your life? And are they in alignment with you? And what are your relationships with other people looking like? Hey Leo rising, let's take a look at how Pluto retrograde is impacting you. Pluto will go retrograde on May the 1st all the way till October the 10th, and on June the 11th, it will dip back into Capricorn, which means it will be in your 6th house of daily work routine and your health and wellness. Now, for you, it seems like work is going to be extremely important because on May the 16th, Jupiter will move into your 10th house of career, goals, and ambitions. So there is a lot of growth and expansion there. Like I mentioned in your monthly horoscope for May, that career blessings are on the way, and they most certainly are. However, during May, when Jupiter moves into Taurus, it will be making a difficult aspect with Pluto, which means that although you have all this energy and you want to shoot for the stars, reach for the stars, and you want to achieve so much, and you have so much energy and so much hope and faith and excitement when it comes to career goals and all that you want to achieve, Pluto is like, hang on a minute. Before you move too fast, make sure that you have really reevaluated, reanalyzed, reflected, and reviewed your current circumstances, the past, and where you are headed in the long-term future. So you may feel a little frustration, you may feel a little blocked, you may feel like, why is nothing going my way? Like, on one hand, you have so much excitement and you just want to put your foot on the gas and reach for the stars, like I said. However, Pluto is like holding you back because it wants you to really dive into the depths of your soul, your psyche, and make sure that all that you want to achieve is truly in alignment with you. And if all that you want to achieve is in alignment with you and it holds a purpose, a sacred purpose, then your dreams and your goals and all that you want to fulfill in this lifetime will occur for you, will manifest. However, if the things that you want to achieve don't hold a purpose, that are not in alignment with your soul, then you're going to feel a block. Then you're going to feel frustrated. So, Pluto retrograde, it wants you to go into the depths of your psyche and think about work, career, goals, ambitions, what you want to achieve, and also your wellness and your health. Is everything that you're doing, is it adding to your health? Is it making you feel good, your mind, body, soul, and spirit? Or is it depleting you? Is it breaking you down? Is it stressing you out? Because when you do something that you love, your heart expands. So when your heart expands, you feel good, you feel happy, you feel at peace. However, if you're doing something that you don't enjoy, that is constantly frustrating you and making you feel just down, that creates a block around your heart chakra. That causes anxiety and that impacts your health, mind, body, soul, and spirit. So Pluto wants you to reflect over your work, career, and goals. Pluto is like if you're doing what you enjoy, if you're doing something with your all, your heart and soul, and that is really adding to your mind, body, soul, and spirit, then you will manifest. But if it's the opposite, then you got to do that shadow work and that soul searching. Hi Virgo, Virgo rising. Let's take a look at how Pluto retrograde is impacting you. So Pluto will go retrograde on May the 1st all the way till October the 10th, and it will dip back into Capricorn on June the 11th. So that means that Pluto will go back into your fifth house of creativity, joy, self-expression, romance, dating, the inner child, and also children. This can manifest in many different ways. And I want to say that it's not going to impact everyone. If you have any planets or angles at 27 degrees of Capricorn all the way till 29 degrees of Capricorn or 0 degrees of Aquarius, then you will be impacted the most, which means you will be reflecting, reviewing, reanalyzing, being the phoenix that rises, and transforming. Now, one manifestation of Pluto being in your fifth house in retrograde is you going over your creativity and the way you express yourself. You may be using your creativity and self-expression as a way of healing, as a way of doing some soul healing and really healing the mind and your emotions and your psyche and just your soul, like I said, and your spirituality is going to be very much also connected. That healing is going to be connected with your inner child as well. You may even find that your relationship with your children gets more intense, and it may require you to also do a lot of healing, whether it's your own inner child healing or holding sacred space for them, or even doing like healing for your ancestral line. Even though this is the fifth house, that inner child is connected to your family tree. And remember that before the fifth house is a fourth house. So that could also be a theme here. Now, this could also mean that you're dating somebody, maybe they are very Plutonian, or maybe that relationship is very karmic and you have to make some decisions. Do I stay or do I go? And is this relationship truly serving me or not? And with Jupiter moving into your ninth house on May the 16th, you may feel like you really want to expand on your spirituality, your higher mind, your consciousness, your philosophies. And you also want to travel, but Pluto is probably giving you a bit of an intense time where even the traveling that you want to do, and when it comes to your spirituality, the way you want to expand, Pluto is making you confront the more darker, deeper parts of your psyche. It's making you do that inner work, the inner healing, or you're feeling like the way you're even just carrying yourself is just more like Plutonian, like it's more fierce. So overall for you, Pluto wants you to review, reflect, and reevaluate the last 15 years of your life. What has been going on for you? What are some of the most intense experiences you've gone through in the last 15 years? And have you truly done that healing? Is there anything else that you need to heal, detox, purge, transform, be the phoenix that rises? Because if you need to, then you will have to confront the darker, deeper parts of you and your creativity, your self-expression, the inner child within you. or even when it comes to relationships and other people. Hi Libra, Libra rising. Let's take a look at how Pluto retrograde is impacting you. Pluto will go retrograde on May the 1st, all the way till October the 10th, and on June the 11th, it will dip back into Capricorn. So this will impact you the most if you have any planets or angles at 27 degrees till 29 degrees of Capricorn or 0 degrees of Aquarius. Now, Pluto dipping back into Capricorn means it's going back into your fourth house of home, family, belonging, where you go to rejuvenate. So if you still have any family karma that you are healing, that you are transforming, Pluto will help you with this. If you have addressed the ancestral and generational curses and the karma, and if you've been really doing that shadow work, and if you've been stepping into the role of the healer, the chosen one, then you'll have an easier time. But if you're still denying what needs to transform, if you're still running the other direction, even though Pluto keeps calling your name, if you're running away from the shadows, if you're not stepping up to the plate, then Pluto will make this transit a little more difficult. Now, Jupiter will move into Taurus into your 8th house on May the 16th. The 8th house is the house of Pluto, the house of transformation. It rules over shared finances, resources, sex, intimacy, your psyche, the hidden, the occult. So, when Jupiter moves into Taurus on May the 16th, it will be in a difficult aspect with Pluto. So, this means that there may be some issues that you need to solve around money, other people, karma, even like doing that shadow work when it comes to your psyche, your mental health. So you may feel a little frustrated. You may feel like there's a block during May, but Pluto is just pushing you to confront the darkness and transform it, to be the alchemist, to be the shadow worker, and to be the healer, to heal your ancestral line, and to step into the role of the chosen one of the family, the healer of the family, and to heal your ancestors, free them from any trauma by doing the work on yourself, by being the example, by working on yourself, by doing things differently, doing things that may feel like you're going against what you've been programmed and conditioned to do, but Pluto is like, you need to break free. You need to break free. Now, this could be an intense time because this involves family and home. There can be other people that you are having to deal with in your family that may be very Plutonian, and there may be some karma there that needs to be resolved. But you always have to choose between, do I keep on doing the same things that haven't been working out for me and my ancestors and my family, or do I be the change that's needed? So you have to ask yourself, how can I transform? How can I be the phoenix that rises when it comes to healing that karma? If there's any karma that still needs to be resolved. Scorpio rising. Let's take a look at how Pluto in retrograde is impacting you. Pluto will go retrograde on May the 1st all the way till October the 10th, and it will dip back into Capricorn on June the 11th, which means it will dip back into your third house of communication, learning, short distance travel, and also siblings. So this means that for a brief moment or two, I shouldn't say brief moment because it's a couple of months, you will be feeling a little more intense than usual, because when it comes to your mind, when it comes to how you're communicating with the other people, you are going to be more Plutonian. You're going to be all or nothing. And people are going to notice that about you. Like, you're going to notice that about yourself too, because you're always diving into the depths of your soul and your psyche. And you're going to be a little more fierce and very strong-willed during this time. And you may hurt a lot of people's feelings, but you're going through Pluto revisiting your third house, and It's transforming your mind. It's making you go back into your underworld. I mean, you're always going back into the underworld, but this is going to help you push you to your limits once again and make you confront anything that needs to transform when it comes to your mind. And your communication is going to be much more blunt and sharp. And it may be a little harsh to a lot of people, like I said, but just be a little mindful. If you can tone it down, I mean, try to, because you may just be so intimidating to other people during this time. And you just want to really transform the psyche, and you may want to learn things that are esoteric and that are hidden, the mysteries, the occult. That may take an interest for you again. I mean, it already does because you're a Scorpio dominant, but you may just be a little more deeper into that during this time. Now, there may even be some karma with the people you're around or your environment, or even siblings that you need to balance the scales with. So that's another manifestation that can occur for you. But Pluto in your third house, it's kind of like you being in your element, really. It's you being in your element. Now, I want to say that Jupiter will be moving into Taurus on May the 16th, and it will be in your seventh house of marriage, relationships, and other people. And during that time, it will be in a difficult aspect with Pluto, which means that, there can be some intense, karmic, strong conversations you need to have with other people that may determine the future of whether they stay in your life or whether they leave. So watch out for that. There may be some conversations that have been really bothering you, not just in this lifetime. Conversations that your soul's been carrying from many, many lifetimes, and you may get an opportunity to release all that you've been holding on to and come to the conclusion and come to the finale with those situations and experiences and that karma. So, Pluto in retrograde in your third house, it's taking you back to your element, and it's preparing you for when it moves into your fourth house, because that's going to be quite a transformational time when it comes to home and family. So for now, keep on being the Scorpio that you are. Keep on transforming your mind and your consciousness, because you are always going to be the phoenix that rises. Hi Sag rising. Let's take a look at how Pluto retrograde is going to impact you. Pluto will go retrograde on May the 1st all the way till October the 10th. And on June the 11th, it will dip back into Capricorn in your second house of money, finances, income, and how you feel about yourself, your self-worth. So if you have any planets at 27 till 29 degrees of Capricorn, or even 0 degrees of Aquarius, this will impact you the most. Pluto will make you reflect, review, and analyze your self-worth, how you feel about yourself. And it will also teach you the true value of money and how to be abundant and prosperous by being your true self, by moving with truth, with being real and authentic and living life sacredly. Like, that is Pluto in the second house, teaching you the real value of currency, spiritual currency, energy being currency. And if you have any fears or phobias to confront, Pluto will make you do that shadow work. But if you have integrated the soul lessons that Pluto has been teaching you in this area of life for the past 15 years, then it will be a smoother ride for you. Although you want to really just have fun, enjoy life, live your best life, Pluto may be blocking you because it wants you to really integrate those soul lessons and really understand your self-worth and the meaning of currency and money and why you're put on this earth. And it's teaching you true spiritual power. And when you integrate that, when you truly understand that and live your truth, when you live sacredly, that's when the abundance and the happiness and joy will come into your life, and you will be a magnet to it. So Sag rising, Pluto will be in your second house during retrograde, and it will be transforming you. Hi Cap rising. Let's talk about how Pluto retrograde is going to impact you. Pluto will go retrograde on May the 1st all the way till October the 10th. And on June the 11th, it will dip back into your sign. So just when you thought finally Pluto has moved out of Capricorn into Aquarius, well, not too soon. Pluto is an extremely slow moving planet. So it will go back into your sign. And if you have any angles or planets from 27 degrees to 29 degrees of Capricorn, this will impact you the most, or even 0 degrees of Aquarius. Some of you guys are probably going through a huge shift change in your life, like you're being the phoenix that rises. You're going through your death and rebirth cycle. And for some of you guys, you've probably already gone through this cycle since the last 15 years. Now, regardless of what cycle you're on right now, what stage you're on, whether you've gone through that Pluto cycle or not, this is an opportunity to review, reflect, reanalyze the last 15 years of your life and what you've been going through. Think about the most intensest experience you've gone through and what it taught you and how it changed and shifted and moved you and empowered you, and how you really just transformed yourself. Because Pluto wants to make sure that you've integrated that soul lesson before you move forward. Now, for some of you guys, not only is this impacting your mind, your consciousness, your identity, just your life direction, your entire life, but this could also impact relationships as well, marriage and one-to-one partnerships. For some of you guys, you may be going through some really, tough times where you're having to reflect whether you're going to stay with a person or break up or go through a divorce. Like, some serious stuff that some of you guys are going through. And, it's just Pluto. Pluto brings endings to things that no longer serve you, or when the soul lesson has been integrated and when the karma has been fulfilled and when the scales have been balanced. Sometimes Pluto makes you release and let go and cut those cords. So, it's quite an intense time for you, but it's just the finale, and you're like the snake shedding its skin to really purify and cleanse your life. Hi Aquarius rising. Let's take a look at how Pluto is impacting you. Pluto will go retrograde on May the 1st all the way till October the 10th, and on June the 11th it will dip back into Capricorn. So yes, you've had a sneak little peek of Pluto moving into Aquarius, but it's not fully going to anchor into your sign until later 2024. It will go back into Capricorn, back into your 12th house on June the 11th, which means you will be reflecting, you will be going over your memories, your life experiences. You're going to be going through some karmic experiences if you haven't done the shadow work, if you haven't cut the cords, if you haven't transformed your psyche, your consciousness, then it may be a difficult time, especially if you have any planets from 27 to 29 degrees of Capricorn, or even 0 degrees of Aquarius, and it will impact you the most. But you are going through revisiting your underworld period, revisiting the depths of your psyche, your soul, confronting any fears, any phobias, really transforming your mind, body, soul, and spirit. And during this time, you may feel very stressed out, especially when it comes to your mind, your emotions. So please take care of your mental health. You may feel like the intensity is just a little too much for you. And as an Aquarius rising, you're not a very intense person. You're actually very detached. You're an air sign, so you're very logical and very left-brained, and you like to be free from emotions, but Pluto will make you dive into your soul. So you may feel very emotional, very sensitive, very psychically sensitive. Pluto will make you confront any demons, any fears you've been holding on to, that your soul has been holding on to. Like if you wanted to do past life healing or soul retrieval, this would be the time, because Pluto is actually encouraging you to do that. So for you, transforming your mind, body, soul, and spirit as well, really doing that soul healing, really going into the depths of your soul so you can be who you're born to be when Pluto moves into Aquarius and completely changes your life. Pisces rising. Let's take a look at how Pluto retrograde is impacting you. Pluto will go retrograde on May the 1st all the way till October the 10th, and it will dip back into Capricorn on June the 11th, which means Pluto will go back into your 11th house of friendships, groups, community, and your hopes and visions for the future. So if there are any friends that you have in your life, or any associates, anybody that you're associated with through a group, a community, you will be having to review and reflect whether they will remain in your life or if you're going to have to cut the cords. There's maybe a time where a karmic person comes into your life, or somebody very Plutonian, and be very careful, because all may not be as it seems. You may feel very magnetically connected with them. You may feel like, they're like your soulmate, whether it's platonic or not. But be careful, because Pluto retrograde can bring somebody into your life that is not necessarily going to stay there forever. It's not going to be permanent, because Pluto is in retrograde, which means it's time to review, reflect. The energy is not moving forward, it's moving back. It's revisiting your underworld, your past lives in a way as well. So there may be a karmic meeting, and there may be something that you have to resolve, like a mystery you have to resolve, or maybe there's somebody in your life that you have to truly let go of, or release in your life, or maybe just your ideals and your philosophies and what you believe in may shift, go through a transformation. What you want to work towards in the future, like your future goals, hopes, and visions for the future, they may be going through a huge transformation. And this may be a very sentimental time for you, a very intense time for you, especially if you have any planets at 27 to 29 degrees of Capricorn or 0 degrees of Aquarius. So Pisces rising, friends, groups, community, what you believe in, hopes and visions for the future are going to go through a complete transformation for once and for all before Pluto moves into Aquarius again.